All right, welcome back. It is time for WAVE 31 Law Call. Our good pal Michael Timberlake joining us right now. Senior Timberlake and League. You think I'd have it down at this point already. This is a great chance to get your legal questions in. The number right there, 536-0077. As we're waiting for those calls, this is interesting, heading into Halloween. If somebody, trick-or-treater, or mom and dad, are on your property, what kind of legal responsibility do you have?
Well, again, it's a good question. And, because you're essentially, they're social guests. You're inviting people to come to your property. And in that situation, you have an obligation to warn social guests about any known dangers. You don't necessarily have an obligation to go out and inspect your premises and make sure that it is safe for everybody. But if there's something that is dangerous on your property, some steps or something, a loose board here or there, a railing that's not good, you need to go ahead and fix that if you know about it ahead of time, because if somebody gets hurt on your property and you knew about that condition, that can come back to haunt you as a homeowner.
Now, what if it is somewhere, and I'm drawing on personal experience, I just discovered a few lovely gopher holes in my front yard. Sure. In theory, it's not along a walkway, it's not along somewhere that somebody would specifically walk, but if somebody cuts across.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things you'd want to take care of, because essentially you know that people, especially trick-or-treaters, they're not necessarily going to stay on the sidewalks, and they're not necessarily going to stay on the walk. So if there's a condition like that on your property, go ahead and fix it and take care of it, because if it's reasonable for you to expect that people are going to walk there, then they could potentially have a claim if they get hurt in that area.
All right, we have our first call. Who is joining us right now? Oh, Ricky. Hey, Ricky. What can we answer for you?
I've got a landlord who won't fix anything in the house. The rent's always paid on time or before time. Like last winter, I went without heat 3 months here in the house. He's always going to send his guy over this. Like the grating in there where the vent is for the heat is broken off, and I'm disabled. I fell through it twice already, and he still refuses to fix this stuff. And there's all kinds of stuff in the house needs to be fixed. But his rent, I've got all my receipts, everything's been paid above board and everything else, but he still refuses to fix the stuff. What can I do to make him do this?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. And essentially, if you're a tenant and you're paying rent, that you can put you have three things you can do. You can put the landlord on notice that it needs to be fixed. Give him a reasonable time to fix it. If he doesn't fix it, you can have it fixed and then deduct that from your rent. Or three, you can tell them that you are going to leave, give them notice that the property is not habitable, and that you can break the lease and leave. So there's a number of things that you can do in that situation. I would start by putting something in writing, explaining to him the situation about what the specific problems are. Make sure it's a date, and make sure you have records from when he received it or when you gave it to him. So if later you want to leave, you can use that as evidence.
Document.
Absolutely.
Let's get to Billy right now on the phone. Billy, good morning. No? We lost Billy. All right. It is very interesting, though, because one thing that Ricky brought up, and I'm really glad that he did, is, you got to be playing above board.
Sure.
Just because something's wrong, and even I know this, obviously, I'm not the lawyer, but even I know this, if you are saying, look, something isn't right, you got to make sure that you're holding up your end of the deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the as a tenant, you've got to make sure that if you've documented, you've told the landlord about the problem, and that they're aware of the problem, and it can be fixed.
Let's get to Brenda. Brenda, what can we answer for you? Man, they're dropping like flies around here. I'm telling you. So you did bring up, though, a couple really good points as far as both the we do have Billy back. All right, Billy, what can we answer for you?
Yes, sir. I noticed that on power of attorney and living will, you can print them off the internet. Is this legal, or do I need to have an attorney draw them up?
Yeah, yeah, no, that's a good question. And basically, the short answer is this. If you're going to go to the effort to have a document that's as important as a power of attorney or some type of estate document, you need to talk with an attorney about those documents. It is not expensive to get a power of attorney taken care of. It is not expensive to have a will done in the grand scheme of things, because if you have a power of attorney and it's not compliant with Alabama law, it's not going to do you any good. If you have a will and it doesn't consider everything that you need to consider under Alabama law, it's not going to be beneficial to the people that you want to pass property down to. So, you know, if these are basic documents, everybody needs a power of attorney, everybody needs a will, everybody needs a health care power of attorney and an advance directive. And it is not expensive to get these documents done by an attorney.
All right. Always a pleasure, Michael. Thank you for being here, and thank you guys for giving a call. We do this every Monday at this time. Feel free to, of course, reach out to our friends at Senior Timber Lake and League to answer your legal questions or at least point you in the right direction. Now let's head on over to Kate.